Hi there, Wendy and Les here.
And what you're looking at ahead of us is the newest addition to the skyline in St. John. In the middle of St. John, we have two new members of our Port City family there. So those two cranes have just been recently delivered to us from DP World. I think they were built in South Carolina, and they were shipped up here on a barge over the last couple of weeks. And they had to be welded to the barge. A very tricky maneuver to bring them up the Atlantic coast, but they're here now. And to our left, you will see a container ship being, I believe, unloaded. Those are our two original cranes. And these two have been added because our port capacity has more than doubled.
And we couldn't be prouder.
And it's a sign of what we're talking about in this video. So those cranes cost $25 million each.
Wow.
And so two for $50 million. What a bargain. And that will give us the capacity to perhaps, hopefully, maybe one day even surpass Halifax as the largest port in Atlantic Canada. So what is this all about? Well, if you look to our left, as Wendy pans around, you will see this big bare empty space here, which we have discussed many times as the Fundy Quay project, which required a lot of work to get it prepared for building, with reinforcing the seawalls and everything like that. And it's all flat and clear and ready to go. So that is the biggest project, one of the biggest in St. John's history, certainly the biggest in recent times, with I believe an estimated total cost when it's done is going to be somewhere over $300 million.
Woo-woo.
And behind that, of course, you see the beautiful, incredible architecture of Uptown St. John.
Yes, we talk about that in our videos all the time. I absolutely love the architecture here, but we're here to talk about the progress of St. John today.
So behind us here is a decorative lighthouse, which is really cool. I'm not sure if it was used at one time. It does seem to have a light up in the top, but what you can't see behind that is another under construction area, which is the boardwalk, which is one of our favorite spots, and unfortunately wasn't usable last summer because it is undergoing a major expansion renovation to allow for all those patios for the pubs and restaurants along the boardwalk to be used all 12 months of the year instead of just the summer.
It was used last year. It's just it didn't have the stage like it usually has with live entertainment, and it was like a gravel floor and stuff, but they did have some patios out there.
Yeah, and they also constructed the container village, which is beyond the Fundy Quay project here in front of us. You might see the odd container over there in the distance. That was used for cruise ships and concerts that couldn't make use of the boardwalk in the way that they would normally do. So where we are standing, which is right outside of our fabulous Hilton Hotel in Uptown St. John, is right where the boardwalk meets the Harbor Passage. Now, we've also done walks along the Harbor Passage, but it's a beautiful walkway that goes all the way up to Reversing Falls in the distance. Now, what we want to talk about when discussing this Fundy Quay project, those two massive new crane additions to our port, and also one more proposed growth initiative, which is the development of 650 acres at the St. John Airport, hoping to bring in air cargo systems, aircraft maintenance and engineering. Also, I believe they're looking at a $30+ million investment in that area. And we're talking just about how much St. John is growing.
Yes, it's amazing how much has grown since we've been here. We always thought that this area was on the cusp of something great.
Yeah, and you know, like a lot of people that come to the Maritimes, they're looking for tourism. They're looking for, gingerbread little towns and cities, the cute villages in Nova Scotia or PEI and even in New Brunswick. But if you want the city and the city amenities, you get massive tourism here. We get fantastic cruise ship attendance here.
Just right over yonder, actually.
We have two cruise ship terminals over there.
Yeah.
So tourism is huge here, but we're also an operating city and we're a port city, which means that we have industry as well. Now, if you were like us and you tried to research the city before coming here as a thought of moving, you will of course, come across some disgruntled locals that still think that this is their grandfather, St. John, from the 70s and 80s, billowing nothing but black smoke and, and unemployed shipbuilders. But that is not the modern St. John you see in front of you now. We have a thriving arts and culture scene, a thriving music industry. We have one of the most beautiful theaters in Canada. We have the Memorial Cup champion St. John Sea Dogs from junior hockey. We have a thriving cruise ship industry, a thriving port industry. Everything in the city is thriving, including tourism and including people coming from away to move into this beautiful city for a better lifestyle. So St. John just recently announced that in 2022, our population here grew by 2.4%, which is significantly above the national average. We now have 75,000 people or so in the city, and Greater St. John has a population of 130,000 plus, growing far faster than the national averages because of people like us and people others that we have helped here as realtors move into this area. To discover what a better lifestyle, friendlier people, wide open spaces, incredible nature, architecture, outdoor activities. We're surrounded by water. This is the St. John Harbor, which leads in from the Bay of Fundy, but also leads into the St. John River. And so we have rivers, lakes, oceans everywhere here. This is a nice, calm winter day. It's -3 degrees. The sun's shining as it does so often here. Now, in all honesty, we did just scrape off icicles from our nostrils from a 2.5 day deep freeze where we had wind chills of -45 degrees Celsius.
Yeah, it was a cold snap for sure.
And our dog has not forgiven us for taking her out in that to do her business. But this is more typical. We've had a mild winter. One of the other things we talk about, we're not scientists, but climate change in a lot of ways seems to almost be benefiting this area, as we seem to have milder winters than what we've heard about historically. And beautiful summers. So if you want the air conditioning of the breezes off the bay and looking forward to some milder winters than maybe what's been in the past and just a more relaxed lifestyle, this might be the city for you. If you need help, we are realtors with Royal LePage Atlantic. Sometimes we don't these days do videos as often as we would like because we have been busy helping our clients to find homes in the area. And if you're worried about a downturn in the real estate market in other parts, it really hasn't affected us much at all in this area. And people are still wanting a better lifestyle.
Yeah, I mean, relative to the rest of the country, this is still a very affordable market to first-time homeowners that, can't afford to buy anywhere else. So they've come to St. John, and home ownership is still very much attainable here. So we still have a lot of people looking in the area, which is lovely. Like, people are actually loving this city as much as we do. So
the city is growing. The area is growing. There's prosperity here now, which maybe didn't exist long before our time here, but just the growth we've seen in our 5 years since moving to the city. Obviously, we talk about how much we love St. John, so we couldn't be happier to be here, but it's not too late for any of you who are thinking of making a move.
For sure. Come on out and join us. It's lovely here.
Join us in this growing city, which is one more reason why
we love St. John.